In today's video, I have breaking news for you. The GDP Revised report was released this morning, August 29th. GDP for Q2 has been revised upward to 3.0%. So the government says that the economy is doing better than they thought because of the resilient consumer. So that was the headline by Bloomberg. But here's the official news release from the government, the BEA, Bureau of Economic Analysis. Okay, so to summarize, according to the government reports, which is totally unreliable in my opinion, Americans are thriving. The economy is booming. Like we're living the American dream. So 3% GDP growth is amazing and we should be grateful. So take a look at this. This is the GDP growth for the past 3 years. So look at how much better the economy is right now compared to Q1 of 2024. So look at that jump. This is great. Now, let me tell you why I'm having a little bit of difficulty believing the accuracy of this report. That's a nice way of saying it. So the data for the labor market was released recently. I dedicated an entire video to this. So the government was saying this whole year, even last year, how robust and how strong that the labor market is. And then they released a report just a few days ago saying that they were wrong about the numbers. They made a downward revision of 818,000 jobs over the past 12 months. So they overstated job growth by 38%. So how do you get the numbers wrong by that much? That was the biggest downward revision in the past 15 years. So when I read a report like this saying that GDP growth is at 3.0%, you have to take it with a healthy dose of skepticism. Because the labor market is not as good as they say it is, and the economy is clearly not as good as they say it is. And I don't know about this whole resilient consumer. I would better describe it as the paycheck to paycheck consumer, the hang on by a thread consumer, or the can't afford to buy a home consumer. So listen, I know that not everyone is struggling. Yes, there's exceptions, but millions of Americans are, and the economy is not booming. Okay, so I've been saying this about the labor markets, and I know that a lot of people have agreed and said the same thing. So we've been saying that, and then we get hit with that big downward revision. So it's the same thing with the GDP. So GDP, there will be another revision for Q2. So the way it works is they give the preliminary numbers, and then the revised numbers, and then the final numbers. So one more revision, and who knows what that report is gonna say. Now, according to this revised GDP report, here are the stats, here are the highlights. I'm just gonna read these off. So in Q2 of 2024, corporate profits jumped massively. It went from negative 2.7% in Q1 to positive 1.7% in Q2. So the report says that real GDP accelerated because more private investment in inventory and consumers are spending more money. Consumer spending grew at a faster pace than expected. Q1, it was at 1.5%. Q2 is at 2.9%, so this exceeded the expectation of 2.3%.